Hey guys.
Day 1 of NoFap. I can feel my testosterone rising. Day 7. I just winked and a girl dropped her phone number. Day 90. Elon Musk just called to ask me for advice.
Alright, so that's what the forums say, right? But honestly, if you could get actual superpowers from literally not doing something, I'd be the Flash just by never learning how to play the oboe. Okay, let's get serious for a second and separate the data from the dopamine. Welcome to this explainer on NoFap, science versus bro science.
Section 1. What is NoFap? Protocols and goals. So we're going to take a look at this movement, which actually started way back in 2011 on Reddit, with the goal of reversing the negative effects of compulsive porn use.
The community basically breaks this down into 3 distinct protocols. First up, we've got hard mode, which stands for no porn, no masturbation, and no orgasm. It's essentially monks with Wi-Fi mode. Next is standard mode. This means no porn or masturbation, but sex with partners is completely allowed. And finally, porn-free, where you eliminate the porn, but masturbation is fine. The entire focus here is strictly on removing that artificial stimulus.
Moving right along to Section 2, roasting the bro science, claims versus reality. We're going to steel man the absolute most popular forum claims before we put them to the test. And hey, remember, we are roasting the ideas here, not the people. Claim number 1. Testosterone triples. The proposed mechanism on these forums is basically that semen retention equals more man juice, which in turn equals more man. The reality check here, your testes aren't a protein shake that you just save up and accumulate over time. Biology just does not work like a bank account. Claim number 2, women can magically smell your NoFap streak. Pheromone magic. The reality check on this one is just pure economics. If a guy's simply not touching himself for 2 weeks produced an irresistible pheromone cloud, well, Axe body spray would have gone out of business decades ago.
And then we have the ultimate claim. 90 days equals superpowers. Unlocking boundless energy, razor-sharp focus, and undeniable charisma. Well, reality check. You know what else gives you energy, focus, and charisma? Getting 8 hours of sleep, seeing actual sunlight, and simply not being terribly dehydrated.
Section 3. The peer-reviewed data. What the science actually says. Now we're going to dig into the endocrine system, the dopamine models, and the clinical case reports.
So the absolute cornerstone of the NoFap testosterone myth comes from a 2003 study by Zhang et al., published in the Journal of Zhejiang University. They tested 28 male volunteers, and the result? Testosterone indeed peaked at 145% of baseline, strictly on day 7 of abstinence. However, follow-up studies like Exton et al. In 2001 show that levels drop right back to baseline by day 8, and they remain completely stable through 3 weeks. Conclusion? This is a short-term fluctuation, not a permanent increase. Your endocrine system strongly relies on homeostasis.
Next up, let's look at the addiction and dopamine models. To really understand this, we need to define a supernormal stimulus. Internet porn represents unlimited novelty with 0 courtship cost. It's an artificial extreme that our evolutionary biology is simply not equipped to handle in endless quantities.
And the data absolutely backs up the impact of this stimulus. Functional MRI studies looking at compulsive sexual behavior disorder, or CSBD, show altered ventral striatum activity in the brain. This activity is strikingly similar to what we see in substance use disorders. This was thoroughly documented by Voon et al. In 2014. Conclusion? For individuals genuinely meeting CSBD criteria, abstinence significantly reduces cravings and improves executive function. It genuinely helps. But for moderate users, there is 0 clinical evidence of a magical neurological reboot. Now, what about porn-induced erectile dysfunction? The data here is actually fascinatingly split. On one side, we have case reports like Park et al. In 2016 showing young men with no organic physical ED regaining full function after 3 to 6 months of abstinence. But when we look at large-scale data, like the massive 2015 study by Landrepet and Stuhlhofer involving over 4,000 men, they found no strong universal link between porn frequency and erectile dysfunction. Conclusion? Porn-induced ED is a highly plausible mechanism for a specific subset of men due to novelty, habituation, and performance anxiety, but it is not a universal rule. Section 4. The Confounding Variable, also known as the healthy user bias. Because if the clinical data is this mixed, why do so many guys swear their lives changed? Well, here's the meta problem. No one just stops watching porn. The typical NoFap user simultaneously starts lifting weights, taking freezing cold showers, meditating, deleting TikTok, fixing their circadian rhythm, and drinking a glass of water for the very first time since 2012. Of course they feel better. You would feel amazing too if you did all of that while maintaining a perfectly normal relationship with your sexuality. Believing you are on a 90-day heroic journey creates a massive placebo effect that completely changes your baseline behavior.
Section 5. The verdict. The real takeaway. So, should you actually do NoFap? Look, if your use is compulsive or ruining real-life relationships, treat it like a behavioral addiction. If you're healthy with moderate use, just don't expect to become a glowing god among men.
But here is the reframe. Don't do it for superpowers. Do it for discipline. 90 days without a superstimulus isn't about saving up semen or generating magical pheromones. It's 90 days of proving to yourself that you can delay gratification. It's proving that you choose your actions instead of your impulses choosing you. And that skill, pure impulse control, actually is highly correlated with career success, relationship satisfaction, and long-term mental health. So what's your reason? Try it for 30 days. Don't obsess over the forums. Track your own sleep, your own focus, your mood, and your social anxiety. Run your own N=1 experiment. Because at the end of the day, NoFap won't make you a god, but 30 to 90 days of discipline might just make you someone you respect a little bit more. And ultimately, the data that matters most is yours.